Fantom Podcast.
What is up, and welcome to the Fantom Podcast. I'm Sid.
I'm Jenny.
And today we'll be discussing a little bit of Fringe. Well, actually, a lot of Fringe.
Mostly just Fringe.
We thought that you could handle the Fringe or Natural universe that Jimmy created, actually. But I think we're going to have to split it up into Fringe, Supernatural, Fringe or Natural. So sit tight.
Is it so much them handling it or us? Because that's like a year's worth of stuff.
That's true. Oh my gosh. I was trying to download the chat logs and put them in a Google document so I could read them at work. And my computer crashed every time because there was just so much. There's so much narrative. There's so much screaming. It's just overwhelmingly a lot.
God, I wish I had my phone from that time because there were also text messages back and forth too.
Oh God. Yeah. I wish I could subpoena my Verizon and be like, listen, I need these files now. I need to know what I said. I need to know what Jimmy said. If anybody's a lawyer and would like to help me do this, hit me up.
Sid@gmail.com.
No, please don't. I don't know who that is. They're going to be, whoever the actual Sid is going to be like, what the fuck? Oh man. But before we start, do you have any housekeeping for us today?
Not a huge amount. I'm going to preemptively make a note. For the past couple of episodes, I've realized I'm clearing my throat a lot. I've been sick for anyone listening. I'm not just doing it because it's compulsion.
Yeah, it's not a good time to have allergies or asthma.
Yeah, not in the state I live in. It's mostly on fire.
Is it denial? Because I also live there. It's always on fire.
It's both on fire and storming.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, anything else you have for us?
Not currently. I haven't brought up a lot of housekeeping, but we're still kind of getting into our groove.
That's true. Although we've been doing really well, according to your editing.
Apparently it's a little disconcerting, but as people start listening, then I'll start making mistakes.
No, I think you'll be perfect every time. You're a sweet cinnamon roll.
Yeah, who does all kinds of research all the time.
All the time. Well, we're going to talk about those sweet cinnamon rolls in a little bit too, so.
Bless.
Oh, Lord. Well, I just have, obviously I have to mention our social media. If you want to get a hold of us for any reason, you can always email us, fantompodcast@gmail.com. We are on Twitter under the same handle. We are on Instagram. We are on Tumblr. And I think that's it. But I also wanted to mention last episode was our Halloween episode, and I was just going off about how, everybody at work knows I don't work Halloween and this and this and that. Well, guess who ended up working half a day on Halloween?
Oh, not you.
This bitch.
Oh.
This bitch right here. Oh my God. To be fair, I volunteered because my department is incredibly small.
Mm-hmm.
And literally the only two people there that day are me and my boss, because everybody else is gone, and it was gonna be just my boss by herself, but I felt bad and I said, I'll come in the morning. And then as soon as I said it, I regretted it. But I've never been there for Halloween, and people dress up, so.
That's cool. My costume has slowly changed. I'm now going as Ravenclaw.
Are you shitting me?
I talked a couple others as going as the Four Houses of Gryffindor, Hogwarts.
Of Gryffindor.
Oh my God.
I love it. That is a Freudian slip.
That is a weird slip too.
And one more off topic and then we'll get on Fringe. But my sister had a Halloween party.
Oh God.
One of my favorite kids, friends of hers, came. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
He arrived dressed as a thought dog. He was wearing a hot dog costume, high heels, and was carrying Starbucks. And I peed myself so hard.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was like, this is your golden moment.
This is it.
Oh God. It was a hard night. It was not pretty. I ended up soothing myself to sleep reading Hannibal fan fiction, so.
I'm not sure if that snort picked up, but
Sorry. That's just encompasses my whole personality right there. It's like socially anxious, reads Hannibal fan fiction, the end. But anyway, so we're here to talk about Fringe today, aren't we?
We are totally here for Fringe. I've got like 5 tabs up with things I want to talk about.
Oh, thank God, because I'm a mess.
Yeah, it starts with how, I got into Fringe, then I got you into Fringe, and then now Anna Torv is my spirit animal.
Oh, she is a beautiful human being. So obviously you recommended Fringe to me because I would have never clicked on that tile on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just would have never done it on my own. And honestly, Chuck, bless your soul.
For those of you who don't know, Fringe was a science fiction show that was on from 2008 to 2013. I got into it, that would have been 2009. I missed the first season. I didn't watch it live.
Mm-hmm.
And my boyfriend and I would watch it. We ended up getting the first season on DVD, the whole thing. It essentially follows an FBI agent as she sort of gives up on reality and joins the supernatural task force known as the Fringe Division. It has Joshua Jackson, or Pacey, from Dawson's Creek, which is a whole weird thing. Lance Reddick, who also plays what's his name? He's in John Wick. He plays the guy who handles the front desk at the murder hotel. Jessica Nicole, who is also Mayor Dana Cardinal in Welcome to Night Vale.
Yay!
And I mean, there's a whole, it's an amazing cast, and I think half the problem and what you wouldn't have clicked on, a lot of people wouldn't, is that first season is slow as sin.
Well, and I make bad choices in general. I never know what's good for me.
It just doesn't really find its feet until like episode 5 of the first season, and then it goes running.
That's true. That's very true.
But yeah, essentially Olivia Dunham is FBI agent assigned to the Fringe Division, meant to study a sequence of events called The Pattern. Mm-hmm. The Pattern are just weird supernatural events, science-based, science fiction events, like random murders, people coming back to life, a man having visions of terror attacks before they happen, that one alien kid in the basement. Lots of weird stuff happens.
Shh, I forgot about the alien kid in the basement!
That's the episode you said that you were into it on.
Oh my god! How did I forget? Obviously, I'm a mess. But we need to rewatch. We need to rewatch as a thing.
Anyway, sorry, that was my rambling introduction to Fringe. It's kind of hard to explain without watching if you don't have any background.
That's true. Thank you for describing it for me for us, I guess. Because obviously I have this problem where I have to watch something like 5 different times in order to really commit it to memory. And I haven't done that with Fringe yet, so... Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, thank goodness, because you really helped me. So we started watching Fringe on April 15th of 2015, and let us mark that day and let us celebrate it with like a huge blowout next year, because honestly, what a historic, momentous day.
And what was the first thing you said to me after you turned the episode on?
My first comment was, "Oh my God, is this supernatural? Did you trick me? This is the best surprise." Because it opens the same on an airplane. And I was like, Jimmy, did I click on the right thing? Is this just alternate universe Winchesters? It kind of is.
Kind of. And we'll get into it in a minute, but it doesn't help there's massive actor crossover.
Yeah, there is.
Between these two. Like, it's really distracting after about season 2.
Yeah, and as I was reading, you and I both, we went back through our chat logs to kind of refresh our memory, especially me, obviously. I need a memory refresher. But at the same time that we were watching Fringe, we were rewatching Supernatural and also catching up on new episodes. Mm-hmm. So between that and then the massive, like, actor crossover, it was just inevitable that we were going to do a crossover. I mean, am I right or am I right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember when we started noticing.
Well, we said in the first episode, you said actually, this show is effectively if Dana Scully had a kid with a Winchester. And that's pretty fucking accurate.
Yeah, bless Olivia Dunham. To give a quick summary of I'm going to put the first 5 episodes together because they're all sort of the same plot line. Weird, unexplainable things happen on an airplane, which man turns into giant hedgehog, kills everybody, plane crashes. I probably can't put that more succinctly or less clearly.
Yeah. Plane
crashes, Olivia Dunham is called out with her partner at the time, who is not Peter Bishop and should have been Peter Bishop from the beginning. They're having an affair. Spoilers, doesn't matter. He dies soon.
Yeah, he doesn't. We don't give a shit about him.
Not really. So they go investigate the plane, and long story made short, in order to figure out the answers they need, Olivia ends up investigating a man named Walter Bishop. I can't make it do his accent. I'm not from Boston. It's like Walter. Bless him. The actual actor is amazing. My parents met him.
I think you told me this. Yes, you told me.
Yeah, I have signed stuff. Anyway, love him dearly, but he is at the time in a mental institution. Olivia's not allowed to pull him out. She's not, for some reason. FBI powers are limited.
That was realistic.
It was. this is where realism stops. She has to go hunt down Walter Bishop's son, Peter, who, if I remember right, is in Iraq.
Yes.
At the time, running sketchy, like scams and things and working with arms dealers and other people. He owes lots of people lots of money. He's spent most of his life being sketch.
And he sounds incredibly hot speaking Arabic, just fucking saying.
It is real distracting. It doesn't help they're both so pretty. But anyway, she picks him up, finally, somehow convinces him to go back to the U.S. Somehow, I guess she bats her eyes at him a few times, something intrigue.
I mean...
Gets him back into the U.S., and they work together to solve the first mystery, which is the plane crashing. And so Peter and Walter are hanging out in a hotel, and they're unofficial consultants for the FBI. That's kind of the first 5 episodes together. I mean, weird stuff happens, like there's the speed pregnancy in episode 2.
That was fucked.
That was upsetting.
Yeah, a little bit.
There was, the guy who was having visions of the pattern before they occurred and was losing his mind. He was receiving signals from the Ghost Network. After that, then they start talking about the observers, who are bald men with strange computers in suits.
And named after months.
September. I love September.
September was a pure little baby.
I know.
For a while.
But by episode 5, they're kind of an established team, and then everything kind of goes to shit.
I mean, we wouldn't love it without it going to shit.
That's my summary. What else have you got?
A lot of my summary is just look at how beautiful they all are. But we gotta mention fucking Dr. David Robert Jones, who the whole goddamn time I just called him Chuck Seda, because I only know him from, what was that, Billy Madison?
Yeah.
Or no, it was Mr. Deeds.
Oh,
Mr. Deeds. Oh, God, yeah. So the bad guy from Mr. Deeds was the bad guy in Fringe, and, well, one of.
Yeah.
And he was upsetting. He was disgusting. God bless Jared Harris for his portrayal, because it was excellent.
Yeah.
So that was and then I guess this is later, but remember our sweet baby Cotton?
Oh, yeah. I love Cotton.
There's so many actors that I recognize that I don't even call them by their Fringe names.
No, it doesn't help his name is Lincoln Lee in the show. Like, it gets difficult to say after a while.
Yeah. Agent Lee.
Agent Lee, apparently. It's an adverb.
It's an adverb. You know, I was rereading some of the season descriptions, and it all just blended into just one giant season for me in my head. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I blocked out a lot of the traumatic things. Like, for example, like Fauxlivia and Olivia switching places.
Oh, God, I thought you wouldn't talk to me after that. Oh, you were so mad.
I was so mad. I think we need to publish our chat logs into a book so everybody can just see my descent into complete meltdown as we went through this show. But you know what? To be fair, you warned me that it would be a long, emotionally devastating journey, and boy, you were fucking right. I was prepared for it. You were very good about it. Thank you.
I tried to walk you through it. I do want to mention there's one episode that made me fall in love with the show. I was on it. I loved it. It was cool. And then I got to episode 17, Bad Dreams, when Olivia finds out she was on Cortexiphan.
Oh.
And her buddy from the Cortexiphan trials is causing suicides.
Yes.
Oh my God, that episode made me fall in love with the characters.
I just remember probably the 37 gallons of tears I cried.
It's just that actress finally figured out how she wanted to play Olivia, and she ran with it. Olivia was sensitive. She had feelings, but she didn't want to deal with them. It was so good.
She was so good. She was so relatable. I don't know. She was just such a badass in a way that I had missed in television.
Yeah, I'm sending you a link real quick because I think this is an episode you need to talk about because your response was amazing when you saw it.
Holy shit.
Hold on just a second. It's one of my absolute unending favorites, but I'm trying to get my fucking control to work. My keyboard, but also my emotions, I guess.
I mean, same. Oh my gosh. See, I was having such difficulty with the chat logs. I don't think I got to my reaction for Jacksonville. But yes, I remember the whole range of emotions, the whole range of grief was felt in this episode. And I genuinely cried just watching watching it all go down and not knowing when they started talking about the Cortexiphan and that Walter was involved in this bullshit. I had no idea how to feel about Walter for a split second. I was like, I love you, but what the absolute fuck? It was a meltdown of epic proportions.
Yeah, and I seem to remember through most of it. I got to this part because I'm having trouble backing all the way up. The one that really messed you up was the disease episode, What Lies Below, where Peter gets infected with that weird disease that makes him Hulk out.
Oh my God. That one. Yeah, you are very right. That one really fucked with me. I thought we were losing Peter. I was like, my sweet baby, please don't do this for the love of Christ.
But I was trying to get you to Jacksonville because Jacksonville is when the plot starts. The rest of the next 3 seasons, the plot starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember because we were trying to get there, but I just couldn't stay up late enough to watch all of them at the same time.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was very intense. That really just sets the stage for the rest of the show. And they did it really well, and it was completely emotionally devastating.
Do you remember the last scene from Jacksonville?
Oh God, no.
We have to touch on it though.
I don't want to remember. See, this is when something traumatic happens anywhere, I just shut down and I just don't remember and I block it out of my memory and you've just peeled that fucking scab. But when she sees
you yelled at me.
Oh God. Okay. So yeah, it's just me. I'm just eternally emotionally compromised. So whatever, let's just go with it. But yeah, the moment they panned to Peter shimmering, I lost my shit. I was like, why would you do this to me? And do you remember that I was so mad because my brother, when we were watching, we were in the first 5 episodes of season 1, and my brother came in and he was like, he looked at Peter and he goes, he's not real, right? And I was like, what? What are you saying? He's not real. And so I asked you about it and you're like, oh no, he's wrong. And I mean, he was wrong in a way, but then also I wasn't sure.
I was also lying.
You were also lying. And then I also didn't know if I could trust you because remember you told me that Charlie survives to the end and he died at the end of season 1. And I was like, that's not what the end means. And you tried to backtrack like, oh no, I just meant to the end of season 1. And I was like, oh, Jimmy.
In my defense, I kind of forgot where in the show he died.
No, I know. I don't hold it against you, but that in conjunction with Peter is real, trust me.
He is. He's just wrong.
Now I know, but then I didn't know. So
for context, shimmering is when something shimmers, Olivia looks at it and that's how she knows something belongs to the alternate universe. Like the big overarching plot of there are two universes that are sort of gradually destroying each other thanks to both Walter and alternate Walter.
Walternate.
And their Walternate. I'm sorry, that's my favorite word. And their experiments. They finally, the entire first season and a half is that will they, won't they between Peter and Olivia, and it's not overdone. It's not like the later seasons in X-Files when it's just like, just go to bed already.
Right.
Just do it. This one, it's sort of delicate. Like, they're still obviously very good friends. But at the end of Jacksonville, Olivia finally agrees to go on a fucking date with him. And looks at him and sees him shimmer. Episode over.
And my whole life fell apart and I could no longer go on.
Well, then you stop trusting the show.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, after that, it just, anything goes, and I don't think I was ever comfortable again. I loved it, but I was just like, these bitches are going to betray me time and time again. And then with the whole Fauxlivia thing, oh my.
I just wanted to touch base on the fact that this is one of those shows, Supernatural got me kind of into it, but this show, you literally have to watch every episode because a motif that appears in season 1 reappears in season 4.
Yeah.
Then there is the white tulip that appears in season 2, reappears in season 5.
Yeah, this one is one where if you are bored, you're doing it wrong, and you have to just really sit and pay attention.
Yeah, even those episodes that are kind of painful, like the weird Leonard Nimoy situation. But you have to pay attention to literally every minute sometimes because something that appears in the first season reappears in season 4 and is explained.
Yep. Literally blink and you will miss it. And this, I mean, it just really requires all your attention. If you can't sit down and glue your eyes to the screen, brain. Honestly, turn your subtitles on because sometimes you might miss shit.
There's also the season, I had to look up what season it was, season 4 episode with the hedgehog. That is a continuation of the season 1 episode. I'm gonna say episode some more.
Say it again.
Episode.
I feel like somebody dosed me with something where I know the essence of Fringe, but just all these little details as you're talking are coming back to me. So we need to rewatch this immediately.
I do. I will say that disease episode is the one where we started staring at the fact like the entire FBI is populated by angels from Supernatural.
Remember Balthazar? He was a corpse for a while, yeah.
Oh yeah, as the bad guy.
And I was just screaming, where's his deep V?
Why is he not making jokes? And then we started talking about Celine Dion for a while.
Oh god, yeah. That was a shit show. Oh, we gotta mention Jean the cow.
You can take Jean the cow.
Jean the cow was the best part of that show. I think she's what got me through the emotional trauma. Just saying.
I mean, she was both comedic relief and weird background animal.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything you could ever want in a show. It's just background cow.
She exists. That's a weird thing Walter needed.
Yeah, I still can't get over how fucking evil Walternate was, and seeing him in comparison with actual Walter was shocking, to say the least.
It was breathtaking because, I mean, actual Walter had gone through the whole thing of both kidnapping a kid and losing his own.
Mm-hmm. And so there was that emotional devastation and the depth there and like kind of that softness, whereas Walternate was just rage.
Yeah, he was just the worst. He'd only lost a child, and it was because of a kidnapping that he couldn't undo.
Props to all of the actors, but props to his actor. I was just like, are you shitting me? Like, how are you doing this?
Have you gotten to any of your responses about Fauxlivia? Because I don't think you've ever hated someone more.
I haven't yet. I left off on some of our crossover stuff, and I don't think that we were quite to Fauxlivia yet. But yeah, I was not happy. I had been waiting for them to get together for so long, which I really appreciate that they did the whole slow burn thing. But I just was ready for them to just, come on, just fuck already.
Well, they fucking slow burned 3 different times.
I know! They really took their time with us. But then when it finally got to Fauxlivia, I just could not with her. Props to Anna Torv, man. It's like, how can you make me love Olivia so much and then make me hate Fauxlivia so fucking hard? And even after the whole crossing over and she, the character mellowed out a little bit and all that, I just couldn't deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the thing that gets me though is with Fauxlivia, she does different things.
Yeah.
She literally behaves similarly, but things like she mentions she likes different types of coffee. She parts her hair on a different side.
She put a lot of effort, and there was a lot of detail-oriented things in separating the characters. It was very impressive.
Yeah, she's just a little wrong. Just
a little bit, just enough to set your hair on end.
Ugh.
When they did that laptop scene or whatever.
Entrada.
Holy shit. I was like, is this show fucking kidding me right now? Are you really going to do this to him right now? And the worst part is I think I had been waxing poetic about her bedspread or something.
Yes,
so then when I was like, it looks so soft. It looks so nice. I want to live there. And it was like, what the fuck? It was just, this show has everything, man.
Yeah.
I had too many feelings throughout this entire experience.
I had all of the feelings, and I've seen the entire series twice, and bits and pieces of other episodes just because I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
And there's one episode unless I'm watching it with you, I will never watch again.
Which one?
The last one.
Oh, sweet Christ. Yeah, I still can't believe that we got through it.
Oh God, it hurt.
It hurts so much. Even just thinking about it right now, my heart is hollowed out and I just want to hold all of them and love them forever. But it was so perfect. I don't know about you, but I think it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect, but it's also heartbreaking because that's where the white tulip comes back.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there's a comment about using there's an episode about the white tulip. It's a drawing of a white tulip on a piece of paper.
I am getting shivers just kind of remembering this.
And by the end of that season, I don't want to ruin the entire thing for people watching it, but the very last thing is Walter said he would send a white tulip so Peter would know he'd been successful.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry. Stop.
Oh, sorry.
No. But you know what? It was very well done. I think it really rounded the series out very nicely. It was emotionally devastating in the most delicious way possible.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I cannot envision a different ending to this series, which is a very rare thing to happen, where I'm heartbroken, but I'm happy with the resolution. It was a long, hard series.
On a lighter note, before we get too distracted, I actually had an article I wanted to talk with you about real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has a really cool point, and it's from Wired from 2013, right after Fringe ended. Like, the day Fringe ended. And they made a point that when Fringe came out, it was one of a bunch of sci-fi shows. There was Dollhouse, Sarah Connor Chronicles for, like, the 2 episodes I watched, remakes of Knight Rider, 11th Hour, Flash Forward, The Event, Terra Nova, Lost, etc., etc., etc. There's a bunch of stuff on. And by the time Fringe ended, there was nothing. And nothing has really come in to fill that blank.
That's true.
Like, nothing's actually filled in the just regular cable TV decent sci-fi show.
That is very true.
Yeah, it left a gap. And admittedly, this is 5 years later, 4 years later. I can't subtract.
We're almost there anyway.
But nothing's replaced it.
I can't really speak to the real-time impact of the show because obviously I watched it once it was all over, and I've been watching it, or I watched it with you on Netflix rather than on any kind of schedule or anything like that where I could really experience the impact that it had. But I can totally see it, and I agree.
Oh, and with Fringe's tendency toward cliffhangers, watching it real time was actually painful.
I can imagine. It was painful, just the cliffhanger of having to go to bed and come back in a few hours. I can't imagine season gaps and like mid-season gaps and just waiting a week for the next episode. You were a patient woman.
I think that this paragraph I just wanted to put out here for our listeners. The unfriendly atmosphere toward the genre of saying sci-fi makes something like Fringe all the more rare and all the more important in its strange way. It's a show that lasted longer than most believed it could. Fox has, after all, canceled cheaper shows with higher ratings in the past, and was proudly, almost stubbornly obscured, given to insane plot twists to throw its soap operatic elements in new directions. Few shows, for example, have managed to keep a will-they-won't-they relationship dynamic going on by rebooting the timeline or swapping one of the characters for her own parallel world doppelganger, much to this author's My Eternal Sadness. That's got to be something worth appreciating. And I'll put the link when we upload this episode.
Yeah. The things that they did with this goddamn fucking show are, I don't know, they did them so well, especially that parallel universe type of thing. When I first read that there would be a parallel universe, I was like, really? Like, fucking really? Are you serious? This is what you're going to do? Like, it's just going to be a cheap cop-out for the things that have happened, or, you know, a cheap cop-out for plot advancement. But honestly, the way that they wove the storylines, the way that they really established the separate universes and the actors, oh my god, the acting, Fauxlivia and Olivia and their subtle differences, it just was exquisite, and they did it so well, and it didn't feel cheap, it didn't feel like a cop-out, it didn't feel like lazy writing. It was very involved, and it was very heartbreaking, and it was exciting, and I'm very black and white with things where if I don't like something, I will immediately drop it, and that's the end of it, and I'm never touching it again. Then things like this happen, and you were there. We watched like 6 or 7 episodes in one night just because I wanted to keep going. I wanted to know what happened. I needed to know what the fuck is up with the Amber. Who's betraying who now? What kind of fuckery is going on? It was just amazing.
It was one of those, it's the best of sci-fi and the worst of sci-fi in the exact same show. Because there were some awful plots.
I mean.
But you held on because it was the characters. And it doesn't help that John Noble was in, I think, Australian soap operas.
Oh my god. I feel that I knew that.
I told you.
But at the same time, yeah, oh my god. I don't know. And I guess I just remember the good things about Fringe.
And it is, but there are some points where like they needed more money.
Oh, that's true. I remember saying that a few times, being like, really guys, you couldn't have thrown a little budget this way. I remember one of them was the fucking observers, the shitty job that they did making them bald. I was like, couldn't you have just shaved them?
No, you had to use a bald cap.
It's hair. It'll grow back. I was so mad about the crackling of the gum arabic along their hairlines and shit.
I know.
I was like, really, guys? It was like the gentle misting of Fringe. It's like you couldn't have wasted some of the money on better latex. I don't know.
Another thing I wanted to share is, I don't know, have you seen any of Mindhunter?
I haven't. Have you?
Anna Torv is back to working with the FBI.
I didn't know that.
Sort of. She is a psychology professor in the show and works occasionally with the FBI.
Oh my God.
I've seen like one episode.
I've been meaning to watch it because I've been hearing on Tumblr quite a little bit about it. Mostly people being like, it's just Hannibal rebooted. And I'm like, how? How can it be? Well, whatever. That's beside the point. I didn't know Anna Torv was in it. I'm going to watch it immediately.
That's the only reason I turned it on. I'm going to be honest. I love Anna Torv.
She is precious.
That was just my big thing is I turned it on and like, this is a show about the FBI. That's Anna Torv. But she's not Olivia in it. And that's kind of nice to see. She dresses kind of the same, like maybe a past clone of Olivia, but she's not actually Olivia.
Good. I wish that I had had more time to sit down and really go through all of our chat logs about it because it was an experience.
Admittedly, you do kind of have time because that entire crossover universe we created.
Yeah.
You've got a couple weeks.
Yeah, and that's another thing that kind of I got stuck with is as I was reading, it was the timed reactions to the show itself, but then a lot of it was just us bullshitting about the crossover. So I got distracted thinking about it and going back and being like, oh, I think I saved this and I saved that. But we got to get into Supernatural and give our own background about Supernatural before we can get into that. But it was a very colorful universe that you created actually, because looking back on it, it was 95% you. You were a genius, young lady.
You're goading me on. When anyone goads me on like that, I tend to take it to like the next level.
Yeah, I'm just a cheerleader is what I am.
Think of little kids when you want to get them to stop doing something, don't laugh. You kept laughing and that was the problem.
I'm very good at that. I'll encourage all day and all night long. Don't make me take initiative. That's how our whole friendship works. See, what else do I have here? Boyles was beautiful. And remember the episode when you were like, don't worry, he's not an asshole the whole time. And I'm like, oh, really? Let's fucking see about that. It was like, in my head, I was like, I'm challenging you to a duel right now, Jimmy. And then by episode 5, I was like, oh, my sweet baby angel.
Oh, God, you just wanted to pet him all the time.
I did.
Broyles on acid. There's an episode where he gets drugged.
What season was that?
Oh, God, hold on. Let me look it up.
Yeah, because I remember the wild-eyed look on his face. I can picture it right now.
Lance Reddick is a gift.
He is. Wasn't he Papa Legba in American Horror Story?
I think so, yeah. 19th episode of the 3rd season. It's called Lysergic Acid Diethylamide. Oh, it's the episode where, I think, maybe? I don't recall. Hold on, let me see. That might not be it. I think that's the episode where they have to go into Olivia's head because she's possessed by William Bell / Leonard Nimoy. The thing that broke me, though, was they tripped out Broyles sitting there blowing bubbles and staring at Astrid.
Who is a gift from above, may I just say. Did you ever keep that running list of all the different names that Walter calls her?
Yes.
I know you said you would. Do you have it?
Hold on. Let me see if it's on my drive.
Obviously, asterisks, and I remember at one point I was like, I wonder if he's ever going to call her AstraZeneca.
Aspirin, Asgard. Okay, these are the ones I caught. It's not all of them.
Okay.
Asgard, Astris, Astro, Asteroid, Astringent, Aspirin, Astrix, Ashram, Ostrich, Claire.
Claire? Where the fuck did Claire come from?
I don't remember the context. I just wrote the name down. Athos, Afro, I think he calls her Alex at one point, Aphid, Acid, and my absolute favorite is not him actually calling her anything, and it broke me, it made you laugh too, was he's going on the street and goes, Astral! Astrid turns around and looks at him, he looks at her and goes, Projection.
Yes, I remember that. Oh my God. Their relationship was just so beautiful and pure. I don't know about you.
It was so good.
It was good. I really like that dynamic. And I love that, I don't know, maybe you feel differently, but I feel like they didn't belittle her, Astrid, you know? Like they didn't talk her character down.
And I actually enjoyed the fact that they just let her be.
Mm-hmm.
I think he called her Escher at one point.
Sure.
I'm double checking a couple of the names. Yeah. People keep commenting on the astral projection comment.
That one was gorgeous.
Astro Farnsworth. Yep, that's me. And Astrid she was Astrid. She had her job. Mm-hmm. She seemed to enjoy her job. Mm-hmm. And they actually gave her more to do when she got to use her cryptology to decode all of the puzzles in, like, I think end of season 3.
Yes.
It looks like found a couple more. Aspen, Astriff, Abna, Acid, Ashcan.
Ashcan?
Escher Ficklesworth from Brown Betty, which I don't think counts because that was a story. So I got most of it.
You did. That was funny.
But he never gets alternate universe Astrid wrong. She's always Astrid.
Oh my gosh, let's not bring her up. I cried so hard at her character. What a beautiful, precious, pure human being that was alternate universe Astrid. And the whole time I just wanted to cry when she asks, what is it? The exact wording that she asks Prime Universe Astrid. She's like, did your dad love you or something like that?
Oh God, yeah.
And then Astrid lies to her and she's like, no, we don't have a relationship. And then she picks up the phone. Oh my God. I can't. I'm emotionally compromised, Jimmy. Why would you do this to me? Oh God. My feelings hurt so much.
Oh yeah. That episode was upsetting.
It was rough. It was incredibly rough. Just this whole show. If you really want to feel and you want to completely mindfuck yourself, just go for it. Just do it. If you're a fan of Supernatural, just fucking do it. And you've felt worse.
Yeah. Like if you're ready for both sadness in the middle of absurdity, I would suggest Fringe.
And a lot of hot people.
Fringe has a TV tropes, and they have pages labeled tearjerker.
Every single one of them very accurate.
Yeah, it's true.
I did not want to think about alternate universe Astrid. Like, Olivia, at least, she made me feel, or Fauxlivia made me feel red hot rage.
Yeah.
Where it just kept me going and I just wanted to find out more and it made me want to kick into action. But alternate universe Astrid just makes me want to curl into a ball and hold her and cry.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sweet baby, you're so beautiful.
I know.
How dare they?
Yeah.
How fucking dare they? And then, can I just say the casting for fifth? Do we want to spoiler them and say who Etta was?
Just do it.
So, Peter and Olivia, after the slowest of fucking burns that restarts 3,000 million fucking times, eventually end up having a child, and her name is Etta.
Uh-huh.
And the casting in the 5th season, adult Etta, was flawless.
I know.
Holy shit. The moment that I looked at her, I was like, that's their kid. That's her fucking kid, and nobody can tell me otherwise.
You called it so early.
I called it so early, so hard. And it wasn't even just that's a logical plot advancement, but it was just, that casting was flawless.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole thing, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel with the time jump, but I think they did it relatively well. Mm-hmm. The whole, post-apocalyptic, post-observer, or what was it? Observers or first people? What did they call them?
Oh, God, I don't remember now.
I thought it was going to be really tiring, and something about those kinds of sci-fi universes don't really appeal to me. Mm-hmm. But I think with everything, we had already been in it for 4 seasons. So I think that, and then just they wrote it relatively well, and it wasn't boring. It wasn't too tedious. I really liked it. And then plus that fucking ending. Yeah. Holy shit.
I just looked up the quote from season 4, episode 11, Making Angels, and I'm not going to do it.
Oh my God. Hold on.
No, don't do it. That's the Astrid episode.
Oh no. Oh no.
Don't do that.
No. Why would you even mention it to me?
You just talked about it for like 10 minutes.
I know, but okay. Listen, okay, here's something funny.
Before we leave on sadness.
Yeah, I should be hurt, but I'm just so dead inside. Whatever. The image of Astrid and Peter sharing headphones.
That was adorable.
Oh, it was so precious.
Mm-hmm.
Within the first episode, I declared that Peter was my smushy.
Oh, yeah. I still have those cards. I found them.
Oh, did you? I still need to send you the last pocket letter that's got Olivia yelling at Dean and Peter. I probably should redo it, but it was magical. Oh, and there is no time I've never said, oh God, where do I know this asshole from? Oh, that's right, House of Cards, more often than when I was watching Fringe. It's like everybody from House of Cards had a cameo in it.
Yeah, it went from House of Cards, and then we're like, no, wait, this guy's probably in Supernatural if he wasn't in House of Cards.
Yep, basically. Episode 2 was, or episode 1 or 2 was the speaker for Frank Underwood, Seth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Doug Stamper was on there too, and they were both creepy as fuck. Holy shit. And then Cotton, my baby Cotton. Oh my God. I was so sad when he died. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah. I had a hard time not telling you about that one.
Thank you for not, but also, how dare you? It was a good show. And if you have made it through the end of this episode, you should watch the
Please
entire fucking thing. Just do it. You won't regret it. You'll have so many feelings. You won't know what to do with any of them, but you won't regret watching it. If there's even the slightest interest, just do it. Just fucking do it. Just sit through it, binge it, feel things, and then come yell at us afterwards.
If you are looking for a place to stream Fringe, assuming you don't want to just give up and buy everything on like Amazon or get the DVDs, there's a website called Go90, and you can also get everything on Amazon.
I was so sad when they took it off of Netflix. I was like, how dare you?
We were about to rewatch it.
Yeah. Oh God. We'll need to go on Go90 and rewatch it because I want to feel things again, Jimmy.
And let's do it.
Let's do it. I have more notes once we start talking about the crossover.
I'm so excited for that.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Y'all will hate us at the end of it, but it's okay.
I'm at peace with it because I actually went back onto my old laptop and I've been going through them.
Yes. You're a comedic genius. You should be a professional screenwriter.
I'm just very proud of the one time I wrote when Meg broke into Olivia's house.
Yes. Oh my God, that was one that I was at Barnes and Noble earlier and I finally got my phone to open the chat log and I was reading through it and I was just cackling out loud and I was like, oh shit, I'm in public, I shouldn't.
But yeah, if you have something to yell at us about, if you have comments about Fringe, if you have deep feelings about Fringe, if you have no idea what Fringe is,
hit us up.
Feel free to send us an email or comment.
We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Tumblr. There's many ways that you can get a hold of us and yell at us about Fringe. And we want to hear everything you have to say about Fringe.
We might not listen to it, but we'll hear you.
We'll hear you. We might not take it to heart, depending on your feelings about Fauxlivia, especially.
We judge you if you like her.
We will judge you a lot, and we'll especially judge you if you don't like Walter, that precious, precious human being.
Bless.
Well, Jimmy, has this been Fringe?
This has been Fringe.
And once again, Chuck bless you for introducing me because that was wild.
Chuck bless us, everyone.
Well, I am very emotionally compromised. I didn't remember very much about Fringe, shame on me. So thank you for carrying me for this episode.
Always. It's okay. I had feelings.
Thank you. I appreciate that you have feelings and that you are so in control that you have helped me stamp down a little bit of my feelings. You were very good. Just rereading, you were very good about prepping me for some things because I really did fall apart. No, I'll have a little bit more to say next week when we talk about Supernatural. I think that's going to be like a 2-hour episode because we just can't cover everything.
Well, I'll let you run that one.
God, that's dangerous. Don't do that. Don't you do that. You need to rein me in. Okay, so this is all we got for this week. Next week, please tune in for some Supernatural discussion. And then the week after that, please tune in for some Fringe-Natural discussion where we'll talk about our crossovers. And if you plan on listening to any part of it, you need to listen to all 3 of it because it all ties together.
Yeah, it'll make sense in context.
Yeah, and you'll laugh. You might cry a little bit. You might just go, what the fuck? But at least we're cute.
It's true.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And once again, you need to get a hold of us. Fantom Podcast at gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr.
Sounds good to me. Well, I've been Jimmy.
And I have been Sid. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.